All right, so let's get started. As we're going, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in and ask. But just to start it out again, we're here for the public information meeting for projects 2206 and 2207. Got a little presentation we're going to run through here. All right, so introductions. My name's Eric Rakers. I'm the city engineer. Online, we also have Scott Thorson, Director of Public Works. And in the office here, we have Chase Kufel, Assistant City Engineer, Kelly Demony, Engineer Senior Technician, and Mackenzie Thompson, Engineering Technician. And as far as who's going to be involved with this project, from a contact standpoint, Chase Kufel is going to be managing both projects once construction starts. However, Kelly Demony will be involved quite a bit with Project 2206, which is the concrete rehab. And Mackenzie Thompson will be involved with Project 2207, which is the paving project. So, and in addition to that, we will be talking about some construction impacts, how it impacts you, the general timing of the projects, stormwater management. I'm going to give just a little brief discussion about stormwater management since I've got people online and what they can do for our stormwater. And then if there aren't any questions during it, we'll open up one last time for questions at the end. So, project overview. As I indicated, this public information meeting is for two different projects. The first is Project 2206, concrete street repairs. And this includes quite a bit of concrete patching. The locations are American Boulevard from Red Maple to Fortune, and Fort Howard Avenue from Main Avenue to Parkview Road. Then we've also got Project 2207, which is our asphalt, curb, and sewer repair. And from a sewer repair standpoint, really, it's just spot utility work. This is not a significant utility type project. We do small dig downs for repairs, and that's about it. There will be miscellaneous curb repairs, and then, for damaged curb and things like that. And then we will mill and resurface the roadway as part of the project. Now, as far as the projects included under the scope of this, so I'll start out with 2206. You can see on the overhead, we've got American Boulevard from Red Maple to Fortune, and then we've got Fort Howard from Main all the way up to Parkview. The other streets in the project on the west side, starting at the southern part of the city, we have Lemon Lane, Meadow Drive, and Samantha. Then we go up and we've got north and south Carrington Lane, a little piece of Stanek. We've got some park projects we're working on at VFW and Patriot Park basketball. But then going to the east side, we've got north and south Foxcroft Drive. Working in conjunction with the town of Ledgeview, we have Ledgeview Road and Lone Oak Road. And then we've got the streets kind of over by Charles and Barbara, including Barbara, Scout Way, Laurie Way, Knob Hill. And then we've got Acreview Drive and Jonathan Court. And then in addition, we are doing some parking lot work over at Voyager Park. So for these projects, a little more specifics. Project 2206, which is that concrete repair. If you recall, if you were in the area, this is similar to what we did on 9th Street last year, north of Grant. And I'm sorry, north of Shearing, south of Grant. And it involves a lot of different concrete patches, a lot of different stages, barricades will be shifting traffic around. On American, we will be able to maintain two-way traffic throughout the project. However, on Fort Howard, we're going to have to restrict traffic to one direction, and then we'll have a detour for the other direction, simply because there's not enough roadway width for us to deal with doing two-way traffic and patching concrete slabs. The drive impacts. Will be, what I should say is we're not anticipating taking out drives. However, if we have to patch the concrete in front of the drive, there's going to be an extended period of time where you will not be able to park in your driveway because it takes time for concrete to cure, be up to 2 weeks. We'll work with you ahead of time to notify you that you should get your vehicles out, and then you'll be able to park on the street or an adjacent side street. I guess we'll have to see how the staging goes. We'll know a little bit more once we get into the final design and into construction. For Project 2207, really, we'll have signs up that say the road is closed to through traffic, but the road is open really for local traffic all the time. We'll have spot curb repair that we'll be doing, and you'll be seeing forms, and we'll have barricades up. And then we come in and we mill the road. Again, there'll be bumps and drops here and there where we match in. And then we come in and pave the road. And during the paving, there'll be the short amount of time when you should stay off the asphalt when they're actively paving it, but after they roll it, it'll be open back up. So it is pretty minimal from an impact to you and getting to your property. With that, similar to 2206 above for drive impacts, if we end up replacing the curb at the end of your driveway, you'll have an extended period of time when you will not be able to park in your driveway. And we'll have to work with you to park out on the street. On these streets, because they're all local streets and they're not as busy, there really shouldn't be issues with having you park in front of your street, or I'm sorry, in front of your property. So that should work pretty good. But again, we'll work with you on those ahead of time. And for all these projects, if you have drainage issues, things like that you're concerned about, please let us know. Sometimes you have backyard drain issues you may want to notify us about. Sometimes you got low spots in front of your house in the curb. If we can take care of those low spots, we will. However, if we have to rip out 100 feet of curb to take care of a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch puddle, we might not do that because it's not economical, and we end up removing a lot of curb for a small puddle. And then for both of these projects, there are no assessments. This is all covered under our bonding and our capital program, so and the taxes. So there are no charges for this project to the property owners. Construction schedule. So we have not finalized our schedules. However, for 2206, we're estimating somewhere between June and the end of September. But again, that project is a little more fluid because we are going to be advertising it here in the next couple weeks. So it could start sooner than June. Project 2207, however, we're not advertising till later this year. Generally, that's a July through mid-October type project. However, the streets will not be impacted for the duration of the project. Your street will not be closed or not have construction going on from July through mid-October. We give the contractor a certain amount of time for each grouping of streets, depending on how much work we anticipate being done. So you will not have to deal with this the entire summer. Now, that's what I wanted to talk about for the projects. But since I have a viewing audience here, we just wanted to talk a little bit about stormwater management in the city of Pere and some things you as a resident can do to help us improve our stormwater quality. So just as a reminder, and a lot of people don't know this, in the city of De Pere, we have 2 separate sewer systems. And we kind of show them on this map. We have the sanitary sewer, which is the sewer system that collects your wastewater from your toilets, from your dishwashing and all those kinds of things, showering. And that goes in a piping system to the wastewater treatment plant and gets treated. However, we also have a storm sewer system that collects the water from the roadways, from your roof drains, from your sump pumps. That system drains either to stormwater ponds or in a lot of cases in the older parts of the city of De Pere, directly to our waterways. And to give you an example, this is a picture in front of you of our mapping system with Broadway and Ridgeway Boulevard. And on this map, the red represents the storm sewer, the green represents our sanitary. And for the storm sewer system coming down Ridgeway, you can see this drains directly into the Fox River without any type of treatment. So what that means is any dirt, leaves, grass clippings, salt, that goes directly to the Fox River in that watershed basin. So from a property owner standpoint, what can you do to help? I mean, the city does sweeping. We do calibrate our salting to try to minimize it. So from you as a standpoint, particularly for this time of year, is managing your sidewalks and your driveways to minimize the amount of salt you use. If you can remove the snow in a timely fashion, or if you do get ice buildup, try to minimize the amount of salt so that you apply just enough salt to get the ice to break up, but don't coat your sidewalk in white because that's extra salt, and ultimately that all goes to the river and the bay, and those are chlorides that don't break down. So we'd encourage you to try to minimize the amount of salt you put on your paved surfaces at your own property. Next, we break into a happier time of year, which is spring and summer. Grass clippings. When you cut your grass, if you could do a couple passes and blow everything on your yard before you start pointing towards the roadway, because those grass clippings, which is shown in this picture, if we don't sweep them up and you don't have a pond downstream, that goes right out to the river. And Grass clippings are full of phosphorus. Phosphorus is one of those things that causes oxygen issues in late summer in the bay, where they have low oxygen levels, difficult for fish and animals to survive. So if you can manage your grass clippings by cleaning them up and or not blowing them into the street or collecting them, that would be tremendous. And then one last one on stormwater management is when we get back into fall is leaf collection. We have options as residents. We can mulch in place, depending on how thick the leaves are here. It's getting pretty thick. Probably mulching it may not be the best option. You can compost on your site, have your own composting. Most residents don't do that, but they do choose to have the city pick them up. And Tony, our street superintendent, does a great job collecting leaves. They get around the city multiple times. But we would encourage you to leave your leaves on the grass in the terrace next to the curb. Because if you rake them into the street, what ends up happening is we get rain, it leaches out phosphorus and other things from those leaves and sediment, and it washes them in again to our river and our bay. So keep it on the grass. Our city staff gets around a lot so that it will not kill your grass. And again, you're helping the waterways. So I just wanted to run these couple of things by, give you a little thoughts on how you can help us improve the stormwater and the river and the bay in the area. So just in closing, city contracts, project 2206 is our concrete street repairs. Chase is your primary contact from the design standpoint. When we get out in the field, Kelly will be your primary contact and out there quite a bit, although on 2206, Mackenzie will also be helping. When we get to project 2207, again, Chase is your primary contact. Mackenzie will be the lead engineering technician on that project. And you can feel free to reach out to them with any concerns you have, anything going on. If you can't get a hold of them, you want to talk to me, again, I'd be your next point after Chase. Feel free to reach out to me. And then finally, if you don't like any of our answers, you can always reach out to our boss, Scott Thorson, and he's the one who oversees all the work we do. So that's kind of how things are set up. And with that, that is my presentation. I don't know if we have any, willing to take any questions, comments anyone has. We don't have anybody here in the office, but if we have anybody out in, in the virtual land, we're open for questions. All right. Well, hearing none, we will close the meeting. We appreciate your attendance. And again, anything comes up, reach out to us. If you talk to any of your neighbors and they want to know what was discussed, I would say mid next week I should be able to get this recording converted over and posted on our website under our construction project, so it's available. Do you have anything, Chase? Oh, all right. Chase always helps me. He's answering a couple questions right now. Is it something I should cover? Just let her know about her driveway. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording, but Chase will respond back, and I won't shut the GoToMeeting off, but I will stop the recording.